Hey guys, this is Dark Arm Duelist, and I've got another deck profile for you guys. Today, we're going to be playing Zombies. I love this deck, and I've been loving Zombies since I started playing Call of Duty World at War back in the Modern Warfare 2 era, because I didn't get into Call of Duty until Modern Warfare 2. But I started playing it, and I fell in love with Zombies. I love the concept of Zombies. It was a survival mode and all that. But I fell in love with Zombies, and so it led me to build this deck. And I love it because you can play Beals. And I love Beals, and I love Dark Arm Dragon. Those are probably my two favorite cards. I know Beals is so good now because you can, it's a Burning Abyss, because you can Karma Cut him, and you can Phoenix Wing Wind Blast him. But I have another card in here that will back him up, that can really help him out, and really defend him, and, make him a really great card to have on the field because he's just so big. He's so big. But anyways, guys, let's get into the deck profile. First off, we're gonna play one Dark Arm Dragon because a lot of targets in this deck are dark, and it's a really great card overall. Destruction is bad this format from what I've seen, but I really do still like Dark Arm Dragon just because he's a 28 beater and he can pop back row. I mean, you play against Burning Abyss, you're not going to see artifacts, so popping back row is not a big deal. Yes, you're going to banish one of your dark targets. Yes, they're probably going to activate the back row, but the occasional time, you're going to at least get rid of one of their cards, and it's not that big of a deal if you banish a card. But yeah, we play one Dark Arm Dragon, and plus we have so much graveyard control in the Zombies. Haha, graveyard control in the Zombies. Who would have thought it? He's just a good card. Then I do something a lot of people don't do, and that's play 3 Zombie Masters. A lot of people say it's cloggy, but I like 3 Zombie Masters because of the art, first off. Second off, he can revive a zombie monster from either player's graveyard, and you'll see why that's so good in this deck later. But I love Zombie Master. Then we play 3 Mizukis, because Mizuki is great, and he revives a zombie from the graveyard. And if he's milled, you pretty much got a Monster Reborn in your graveyard, and he's just really, really good. I don't know if a lot of people are playing this, but it's a really great card in this build. I play 2 Dark Greffers. Dark Greffer is if you have a Malicious in your hand, like a Destiny Hero Malicious, you can discard the Malicious to special summon this, and then discard another Dark target to mill a card from your deck. So he's essentially a Foolish Burial, and he gets 2 cards out of your hand to set up your graveyard. And plus, if you special summon him, you can always normal summon another monster to overlay with him to make like an Exciton Knight or a 101 or just something that, is viable. But I love Dark Graffer. Or Laval Chain, even though I don't have Laval Chain. I would play it if I had it, but I don't have it. It sucks. But you gotta do with what you got. Then I play 3 Goblin Zombies because he is the searcher of the deck. If he dies, you get to add a zombie. And he's also good with Zombie Master because you can discard a card and then special summon him back to the field and then make an overlay play or make a rank 4. But I really like Goblin Zombie. He's a really great card. Then, I was talking about mills, so why not play 3 Curry Bandit? I like Curry Bandit because I was playing Mathematician, but Mathematician was, you mill one and then, I'm playing him in another deck. Also, I'm playing him in Burning Abyss. I have 3 of them, and you could potentially, if you wanted to be more controlling about what you mill, you could, take this out and put in Mathematician. It's just really what you choose to play. I like playing, Curry Bandit because you get so much mill, and the more you mill in this deck, the better, as long as you don't mill, like, all 3 of your Destiny or Malicious at the same time. And if you do, you're okay, but you're in a little bit of a disadvantage. But other than that, it's not a big deal to mill in this deck like that. It is a big risk move, but if you know what you're going to do, and you have, like, some stuff in your hand that you can deal with other stuff, it's not bad. And then this is your target you really want to mill. You really want to mill at least one of these when you go off with your Furry Bandit, because it's really great, because then you can just special summon like crazy. To be honest with you, I really would consider taking him out to play Mathematician, but like I said, I'm playing Mathematician and Burning Abyss, and I just didn't grab it before I did the deck profile. So To be honest, side this out if you want to, but it's really a player preference which one you want to play, this or Mathematician, or you can play like two of these and then a Mathematician, or two Mathematicians and then one of these. I mean, I've seen a lot of people do that. But Destiny or Malicious, he's a great card because you can use him and Plague Spreader to go into any rank or any 8 tuner, and he's just an overall good card. I really like him. He's dead in the hand, but he's got Grapher behind him, so he's still good. Then you play. I do something again that a lot of people don't do. I like playing 3 Plague Spreaders. A lot of people have told me, you should really take out the 3rd Plague Spreader, but I like it because I want to see him, and if I can somehow, if I have a zombie engrave, and then I have if I have a zombie engrave, and then I have him in my hand, and I have Zombie Master in hand, I can null summon my Zombie Master, pitch him, target him, special summon him, and synchro into a 6. And then if I want to, also, I can put a card back on the top of my deck and then synchro with that 6 into a Beals or Void Ogre or whatever. It empties your hand out really quickly. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to say, that's a bad play, but I like it and it works for me, and it works really well to play like that. It works. Three Plague Spreaders all the way. Soul Charge because you're going to mill a lot. It's just a good card. I'm glad it went to 1 though. Allure of Darkness because you need the draw power. It's just good. And then to summon Dragon Necro, you're going to play 2 Dragon's Mirror. I like Dragon's Mirror because you can banish from your graveyard. So if you have like a Zombie Master and a Goblin Zombie in your graveyard, or again, what I'm getting to, there's a tech card in this deck that's going to make this card even better. You just get Dragon Necro, and it's 3,000 beater. At the very least, it's a 3,000 beater. And with the new deck coming out, Quillar's, I think I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know, Quillar's or whatever. This card, if they activate Skill Drain, he just turns into a 3,000 beater, and he can just pound into them. It's not a big deal. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's still good. Then you play Foolish, so you can have a little bit of control of what you mill, and you don't have to waste that normal summon with Mathematician. If you play Mathematician, I mean, I would, but I just didn't grab it. Super Poly, because you can use this, plus, again, the next tech card, which I'll go ahead and show you. 3 Zombie Worlds. I like Zombie World because it screws over so many players, because they search, and they need a certain archetype, or they need a certain type of card, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to play Solid Warriors, and I need Warriors to make Excalibur or Blade Armor Ninja, or I need a certain type of monster to go into a certain synchro play, or I need a certain type of monster as cost for an effect, like Icarus Attack. You have this, Icarus Attack is dead. It's just dead. It's just such a good card in this deck, because with this, with Dragon's Mirror and this, you can banish any of your other cards. Like, if you have a dead Malicious in the graveyard, you activate this, then you activate Dragon's Mirror, and you just banish your Malicious and another card, and you go Dragon Necro. I mean, it's stupid how good this card is. And then, like I was saying earlier, with Zombie Master, you have a zombie in your hand, or anything in your hand, you pitch it, you special summon a level 4 zombie from anywhere. And with this, everything's a zombie. So you play this, you pitch a zombie, you steal something from their graveyard that they needed in their graveyard. It can mess up so many plays. If you're playing against like a Chaos Dragon player, and they only have like 1 dark target that they're waiting on, you play this, you just shut them down for the next turn, unless they can get lucky and mill something, or do something, which even then it's going to cost them resources to do. You're going to mess up a lot of people with this card. It's just really, really good. I love it in this deck. I did play it for a while without it, but it's really good, especially with Super Poly, because you can do this and then Super Poly and steal their stuff. Like Winda, you could steal Winda, you could steal Construct, you could steal Dante, you could steal Pleiades. And Pleiades is not going to matter. You play this, they activate Pleiades' effect, they send it back to your hand, you replay it, you activate this, they can't negate it, you discard a card, which is good for discarding cards like Mizuki or Plague Spreader. or even malicious, you activate this, they're done for a while. I mean, 3,000 beater and you steal their monsters. I mean, come on. What's not to love about that? Then the one ofs, you play Compulse, you play Bottomless. I'm thinking about dropping Bottomless because again, destruction is bad, and this is not as good against Burning Abyss and stuff like that. It is good against Shadows because if they play like Winda or something like that, it's good. Against Teller Knights, it's bad because it negates because they go into Delthros. I think it's Delthros, and they're just like, well, can't do anything against that. And, it's just bad. Also, I play a Torrential because destruction in this deck is not bad. To be honest, I don't play this for my opponent. I play this for myself because sometimes I'll have like Beals on the field and I'll just activate this because they'll think I don't have it, and then they'll just be sad. They'll be really sad. Then you play 2 breakthrough skills because effects are really, really good this format. You could play Fiendish Chain over this, but I like breakthrough skill in this deck because you mill a lot. Then you play 2 Phoenix Wing Wind Blast because if you play Phoenix Wing Wind Blast and you have Plague Spreader in hand and you can't normal summon it, but you can normal summon something else, you can discard your Plague Spreader and then bounce a card and then normal summon something and put a card on top of your deck and then go into a level 6. Or level 8 if you have Malicious in hand. But he mills your Maliciouses and your Plague Spreaders and stuff like that. Really good cards. Honestly, you could play this at 3 and it would still be good. You could also play Karma Cut in this deck if you wanted to. 2 wiretaps because a lot of people are playing trap cards and it does get it away and get it out of the way to play this. Like, it gets rid of their trap cards and stuff. You potentially could play Trap Stun because none of this is continuous and just turn off traps for the turn, but it's not needed. I mean, it is needed, but it's not. 1 wiretap, and they're like, well, I don't know what to do now. Then you play 1 Solemn Warning, because Solemn Warning is Solemn Warning, and it's just a good card. I like it. And then for the extra deck. The extra deck is a really fun part. I played 2 Dragon Necro Nether Soul Dragon, excuse me. That's a tongue twister. He generates tokens, but you have to remember this, and a lot of people don't know this just by looking at him. You can only have 1 of these on the field at a time. He specifically says in the card and text, you can only have 1 Dragon Nether Necro Soul Dragon on your field at a time. So, if you have him on the field, you can't summon your second one. So, but, that's not a big deal in this format because he's gonna die eventually, and then you just banish this one, or you bring him back with Mizuki. I mean, it's not a big deal if he dies, because zombies have so much control over bringing their stuff back. Then you play Beals, because you can revive him with Mizuki if you have Zombie Roll on the field, and it's crazy. And Beals with Beals, and you can play him in defense mode, and he just turns into a wall. Then you play Void Ogre Dragon, because Void Ogre Beals lock is crazy, and this deck can mill through its hand extremely fast. Another card that with Beals lock is this guy, Scrap Dragon. It is amazing because Scrap Dragon, if you target Beals, a lot of people already know this. They didn't know when it came out, and I got so many people mad by that, is you can target Beals with Scrap Dragon, and Beals can't be destroyed, and this destroys it. So this doesn't get destroyed, this gets its effect off, and your opponent loses a card. And it's amazing. Then I play 1 Black Rose, because you can make a 7 in this deck, and sometimes you just want to make it as a feed stick. I mean, rarely you do, but you can make it. I mean, it's good. Then you play Goyo Guardian. Like I said, going into your rank 4 or rank 6 plays, or not rank 6, level 6 plays, is really good. Then you play a Revived King Hades, or Hades, if you didn't notice. If you take his name, Hades, it spells Hades, but they had to space it because it was probably religious purposes, and they added a lot of cards like that. And I don't know really why. I guess they don't want to offend anybody, but it's really ridiculous. Then you play Doomkaiser Dragon, because if you have Zombie Roll on the field, you can bring back anything from anywhere, or not anything from anywhere. You can bring it back from your opponent's graveyard, excuse me. So you kill a big monster on their side of the field, then you go into this next turn, you can steal their big monster. I mean, it's ridiculous. Then you play Armides, Keeper Borders, because sometimes you want to go into rank 5, and I was playing Ally Justice Catastor, but Catastor is not as good in this deck as Armides, and it's just not good because there's dark cards, or dark monster decks running everywhere. Then you play 66, because 66 or Master Key Beetle is good, because he can defend your zombie world. Then you play 101 because 101's good because he steals stuff. Everybody knows why 101's good. Then play Castiel because Castiel's good, and he can bounce stuff. And he's a Book of Moon. He's a Compulse and a Book of Moon walking. Then you play Evilsworn Exton Knight. Again, destruction is not bad in this deck against me. It's just not. I can destroy my entire field besides my spell and trap card zones if I can avoid destroying my spell and trap card zones, and I'm fine. I mean, I'm just fine. Because I can just special summon crap from the graveyard. Gaga Cowboy, because sometimes you just need to finish your opponent off. And that's the deck. That's the deck. I mean, the only thing I would change in the extra deck would be maybe a Stardust Spark Dragon, because that's like a walking Key Beetle if you can make a rank 8. But I always go in him first. I always go into Beals first, unless I have no cards in my hand, and then I go into Void Ogre first. But regardless, I'm most likely going to Beals. I'm going to go Beals. And a lot of times you can go Dragon Necro, Beals, and Void Ogre in one turn, and that's 9,000 damage with no spell and trap cards if you don't have cards in your hand. And it's just great. It's just a great deck. I love it. It's solid. It's just good. I love this deck. It's just a really, really solid deck, especially with Zombie World, because Zombie World just gets over so many plays, and it breaks up so many different plays. It's stupid. I mean, it's just great, and a lot of people don't expect it. But anyways, guys, this is Dark Armed Duelist. Dark Armed, and I'll see you guys around.